Joining me now is New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, good to see you. What is the next step when you're back in session regarding health care?
Look, this is politics. This is raw politics, and we've really got to get our act together on the Republican side. We have an amazing story to tell. Just listening to your show over the last half hour, all the good things that are happening, the economy really can grow. But we have to tell the story. So if there's going to be a shutdown again, which I pray there's not, Republicans do not want a shutdown. Democrats want it because it creates chaos. It looks like chaos. And since we are the party that has a very thin, narrow majority, they believe we will be blamed. Unlike last time where we were back in our districts, we're going to have to be in Washington. Every damn day we have to be voting to open the government up. Every day we've got to be making it clear that this is a Democrat problem. And I will say, and I've said this to you before on the show, I hate Obamacare. It is horrible. I do chair a committee where we went through it and just broke it down, all the problems. We should make some improvements, some reforms, make some changes quickly, and for 1 year only, a year and a half, work very hard on a full and robust health care program. And while that is going on, while we're working on that, get ready as soon as they expire again to then do something that's a complete plan for the American people. The very people that we need so much, and I'm being political today, in the election are people that are getting hurt by the subsidies lapsing. We shouldn't hurt them. We're going to have some close elections in the new November coming up in the next year, and we have to make sure that we've got an edge. This is a big deal, and we've got to be politically smart. And I hate to say this, for a change.
Yeah, so in other words, what you're saying is you are okay extending these tax benefits, these Obamacare subsidies, for another year while you figure out what the next steps are. The president has said continuously over the last several weeks he wants any extra health care money to go directly to individuals so they can decide how to pay for their health care. Are you for that?
Of course, I'm for that. I'm for all the bills that we've just recently done. They are good. They are substantive, and it helps businesses. And I could go through all the different ways. We probably don't have time. But it's just not in the immediate future, in this next year coming up, where we have a very big election, whether America is going to continue to move forward or we're going to fall back and just have complete chaos in the House of Representatives. We need to do something immediate to help the folks that are immediately affected. Good people who didn't create the problem. The problems created by politicians. We need a temporary fix, not the Democrat plan. They have been so irresponsible. They want to continue Obamacare for 3 years, make no changes, no reforms, do nothing that helps. That doesn't make sense at all. That's terrible, and they should be ashamed of themselves for doing that. I need something temporary so we can move forward and get beyond this and help people with their immediate needs. We can do this, but we have to think politically.
Let me get your take on what's going on militarily. The U.S. military struck another alleged drug boat in the Eastern Pacific. This is the 29th such strike in the region, Congressman. It comes as President Trump has unveiled a new class of Navy battleships. He's moving the country closer to building what the administration is calling this Golden Fleet. This plan calls for a total of 25 new ships, with the first 2 expected within 2.5 years. Your reaction?
This is what we should be doing. America leads. We're the engine. We're not the caboose. And President Trump realizes this, and he's right on this. We need to lead the world. China is starting to lead the world now in shipping, as you know, and in other areas, and with the building of battleships, et cetera. We can't allow that to happen. So he's 100% right. And those strikes off of Venezuela are right. I mean, I don't know how Democrats can defend what's going on as far as bringing drugs into this country. And I don't want to use this word, but I'm going to. These bastards are bringing all of this in, all of these drugs into our country. They know now that they can't continue to do that. There's going to be less fentanyl in the country. He's doing the right things with the ships, and he's doing the right things with the strikes. Here's the bottom line. We say it all the time, but people really should think about it. A strong America is a peaceful America. Peace through strength, war through weakness. America should not be weak. I shouldn't even need to say it.
Well, why don't your colleagues on the left understand that? And why do they constantly fight President Trump on his agenda?
And it's wrong. You know what? My folks, the Democrats, when they really believe he's wrong, okay, you're the loyal opposition. You can argue, you can debate, but it's everything. It's all the time. I mean, they're worried about Venezuelan drug lords. That's their focus. They're worried about Venezuelan drug lords. No, they should be worrying about the American people. They should be worrying about the young people who are dying every day in the United States of America because of fentanyl and all of the drugs that are being brought in. Don't argue just for the sake of arguing. If you really believe something, okay. But you've got to understand, Maria, and I know that you do, this is about politics. And I don't mean to keep going back to this, but it's not all philosophical with them. They want to win. And you know what? They're not bad at it. So they want to create this image that, we're in chaos, that there are problems, that the Republicans can't lead. No, they won't cooperate. They won't work. They won't help at all. Remember, when we wanted to do a continuing resolution, which was a mini Biden budget, I hate to say it, it actually disgusts me to say it, we were just continuing Biden's budget for a number of weeks. They weren't willing to do that. They've always been willing to do that.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. We've got to be smarter, faster, and better at it.
The Trump administration has suspended leases on 5 large offshore wind projects, Congressman, currently under construction off of the U.S. East Coast over national security concerns. U.S. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum was here with me yesterday. He broke the news on this program. Watch.
We're sending notifications to the 5 large offshore wind projects that are under construction that their leases will be suspended due to national security concerns. The Department of War has come back conclusively that the issues related to these large offshore wind programs create radar interference that creates a genuine risk for the U.S., particularly related to the where they are in proximity to our East Coast population centers.
What was this costing us to have all of this infrastructure on these large-scale offshore wind projects, Secretary?
The most expensive electricity being produced in our country. In some cases, it's anywhere between 5 and 10 times more expensive than if we were doing it with the traditional, reliable, secure American sources like natural gas.
Congressman, you secured an amendment on the offshore wind in the SPEED Act to reform the federal permitting process, right?
Yes. Well, it was a tricky business in the SPEED Act, which is a good piece of legislation. I voted for it in the end, thoroughly support it. You really had to dissect it. And when you looked at it and realized what was going on, the whole process that allows us to look back at the permitting that was done, that was rushed, that was inappropriate, that was not adequate on all these wind turbines, because again, it was political. They wanted to prove that they're green on the left. They were horrible for the country. When you looked at it, we couldn't have looked back to make the corrections that we need and to review the permitting process. We straightened that out. This would have created a safe haven for the wind turbines. It would have been horrible if it had gone through without that change. We had to make it right on the floor. We got it done the next day. It's not just an individual amendment that was done. It is now part of the text of the bill. Now we're going to have to keep an eye on the Senate and make sure they don't do something stupid with this, because President Trump is right on this. He says the only person that hates wind more than him is me.
All right, Congressman, great to talk with you this morning. Thank you so much. We will see you soon. Merry Christmas. Congressman Jeff Van Drew.
Merry Christmas to you, Maria. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you soon. We'll be right back. Stay with us.